Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the show where we're bringing you the latest AI news and sharing our views. Before we dive into it, share with you the latest story, don't forget, hit that like. It doesn't cost anything, but we really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe and keep up to date with all the latest AI news. And every Monday, we also share what we're doing in terms of our project Whisper. So keeping you in the loop behind the scenes of all the updates that we have there. So yeah, great to have you join us. And of course, don't forget to say hi in the comments. Well, let's dive straight into the latest story. I haven't even heard what the story is. So I'm
there we go.
live reacting to it.
I know you jumped on and literally we just pressed record. We haven't even discussed the story, but I will fill you in. I've got the cat to help me, and let me share my screen. This is a bit of a follow-up video on a previous story that we covered, which was purely speculative, Ben. We did a story that OpenAI were rumored to be releasing ads into their ChatGPT platform. It'd been leaked. There'd been some hints at it within some of the data responses from their services that they were preparing to do it. And we didn't really hear anything from Sam Altman or OpenAI that confirmed or denied these rumors. I might be wrong. Tell me in the comments if I am, but I didn't see any communication on this. The rumors sort of came and went. And as of a couple of days ago, well, 5 days ago, it's officially been launched on ChatGPT. And they're going to be doing advertising, which I remember we criticized it very heavily back in the other video, and I'm still going to criticize it very heavily today, as I'm sure that you will do. But just to fill you in on the story, this is all about their approach to advertising and expanding access to ChatGPT. I think it's very interesting how they're positioning it. They're doing it for their Go tier and their free tier, which is their two cheapest offerings, and they're saying because it's to give AI access to as many people for as low a cost as possible, which is probably true. But I have to admit, I still don't know if I agree with the idea of running advertising in it. And, they go through a bunch of, this is almost corporate waffle to me. I'll link the story in the description. And then they go through their ads principles, to align with their mission to ensure AGI benefits all of humanity. Again, a lot of
course they've got principles. Of course.
Yeah. So no ad can run unless it's building AGI or supporting the building of AGI to benefit all of humanity.
We're not going to abuse your data. We're not going to
Yeah, all of this. Answer independence. Ads do not influence the answers ChatGPT gives you. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, lovely policies and fluffy words make us feel all so much better. That's just
Yeah, they come here and they say conversation privacy. We keep your conversations with ChatGPT private from advertisers, and we never sell your data to them. It also says you control how your data is used. You can turn off personalization, and you can clear the data used for ads at any time. We'll also offer a way not to see ads in ChatGPT, including pay or will always offer a way to not see ads. So for me, there's a couple of things here, and then I'll pass over to you, Ben, but I wanted to give you my initial thoughts here. One of the big concerns is always privacy, and I think this article completely contradicts itself in what OpenAI are doing for privacy. In one turn, they're saying here that we're not going to be giving any of your conversations to advertisers, which I can believe. But then in the second breath, they're always saying that they want the ads to be, personalized, useful, interesting ads so that you might discover a product, service, or business that you didn't know about before. So fine. But how do you do that without compromising privacy somewhere? It also says you can clear the data that ChatGPT has on you that advertisers use. So it may not be necessarily giving your conversations directly to advertisers, but you can sure as hell tell that they're tracking what you're saying, what you're interested in, and all the likes of that, which I think oversteps the line. I said this in the previous video, that this is not just what you're searching for on Google because you want a product or a service. This is a chatbot you're giving your deepest, darkest thoughts to. You're entrusting with a lot more in-depth information about yourself, and to feel that it's tracking you and it's going to be tracking you to present ads, is slightly distressing. And the last point that I wanted to make on this, which is why I don't like it, is that it's always going to be mission creep. it's starting off at this baseline value now, but as we know, advertising and presenting ads is not as profitable as other business models. It can be, but often you find that you get lackluster revenue, so you have to do extra targeting, you have to do more placements, you have to do more and more of these things in order to turn a big profit, like the likes of Facebook or Google. I mean, massive tracking machines. So it might start off at this baseline level now where it's quote unquote respecting you, that I believe that, but where does it end? And that's my thoughts.
Mate, yeah, I mean, where do I even begin? Bait and switch springs to mind, both from users' perspectives and also from investors. Sam Altman said, I had it in my head and then I just quickly checked it. I think he said something like introducing ads would be last resort.
Did he?
What did I say? He previously described as a last resort for monetizing ChatGPT, calling the combination of ads and AI uniquely unsettling. And he made these comments in May 2020. Yeah. So what? Wow. So it just feels like a complete bait and switch.
100%.
I've got a huge problem with the privacy side, and I'm writing about it. I'm doing videos about it. Some have come out. I've got some that's scheduled to come out. And I think they are really, really important for people to watch. And I'm not just saying that, but genuinely for people to think deeply about privacy, what that means, and the illusion of trust. I've written an essay on it. That you hear these fluffy words, you hear these privacy policies, and all that bullshit. I'm not going to go down that now. I think it's pretty obvious where we stand. You've just said it very succinctly and very well. If people care about privacy, they know this is an issue. We're talking about cognition here. We're talking about your mind. The AI is literally absorbing not just your search behaviors, but your deepest, darkest secrets. It's not just going to remember you looking up, oh, what's the best night shoes? It's processing everything. So I'm not without going on about the privacy side too much, but I feel it's a real bait and switch. If you think about the investors, he literally said advertising was the last resort. So what was the spiel? What was the line he was telling investors? It shows that ultimately, whatever business model, however they thought they could monetize this, and the sheer cost that it's costing them, isn't playing out, isn't working. The model isn't working. Yeah. So that's why they're having to resort to this. So suddenly, all these predictions of what they're expecting aren't playing out clearly. As in his own words, this is a last resort to monetize. So why hasn't it? What are they doing wrong to begin with? And they're resorting to the old playbook, which is not innovative. It's not. It's the same old playbook. Yellow pages, and in the UK, just sell advertising. It's just like, come on, really? Did they? Was this? I guess the question in my mind was: this always the trajectory? Was this always the path that they knew, but they were very disingenuous to admit it or to say it? And again, sucker people in with zero barriers to entry, grab market share. And I mean, we talked about Claude Code, how again, they bring in developers and then suddenly they're changing the rules of the game, and it just pisses people off. It's like, I really hope people wake up to this dystopian hell that they're walking into, using these types of apps which have no care or regard for people's personal privacy. And the thing is, and again, without going on too much, this isn't just a fuzzy word that doesn't mean anything. We're talking about the most revolutionary technology that's ever existed that could have fundamental change on humanity. And we're literally giving it everything in our minds. That in combination with a surveillance state, that in combination with digital currencies, it just screams to me like a totalitarian control system that's going to have that government's going to literally use and abuse. So I think if people aren't waking up to this reality and they aren't thinking about how they can protect their privacy, well, there's no hope. But I think for those people, and there are plenty, but a small minority of people who do care about these things, I think they'll start realizing that actually we need an alternative, and that's what I'm excited about, what we're doing with Whisper AI. So I think and other things like the Nano Collective and all Nanocoder and all the rest of it. I think all the self-sovereign AI alternatives, and I think our mission is to sort of try and share what risks there are and the reality of what we're walking into, and not just be so like blasé and stupid about it. I mean, that's what's frustrating. Some people some people will you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, as they say. So, that's all we can do. I think people just need to really wake up and actually see what's happening, because like you said, it's mission creep. What's next? What's next? So
yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. To hear that Sam Altman himself only go back 18 months ago said that it's unsettling pairing advertising with AI. I didn't know he said that. That reaffirms literally what we said in the last video, what I said at the beginning of this video, and what you said as well, is that it doesn't pair well because, what you're talking about with AI is so much more in depth than what you'd be Googling or what you'd be looking at on Facebook, for example. You might be Googling you might be searching for information on ChatGPT to give you information about a show you're watching, but equally so, you might be talking about your relationship breakdown. You might be talking about work that you're doing and trade secrets. It's really, as Sam Altman said himself, unsettling to pair ads with AI. And for that reason, you truly can't trust OpenAI or probably indeed any big tech.
What does this say about the man himself?
Well, it's incredibly disingenuous, isn't it? It's incredibly disingenuous. You can speculate as much as you like whether this was always going to be on the roadmap. It was interesting that in 2024 that he caveated it with it would be a last resort, so he never ruled it out strictly. So, I would call it disingenuous because he criticized it before U-turning. And also, now you're seeing a bunch of X posts where he is talking about the benefits of running ads within ChatGPT. So it is a complete U-turn. And, people can change their minds. However, I just don't think this is, a philosophy that's... I'd be interested to know what changed his mind, if something did change his mind, because for me, it's just about, driving revenue to ChatGPT and to OpenAI, and that's fair enough. But I think it's again disingenuous.
Does it go down deeper? Does it go down deeper? Who's actually pulling the strings behind the scenes? And
speculate. Maybe. There's a lot of people that don't trust Sam Altman. I don't necessarily trust Sam Altman. I think he's quite articulate in the way that he speaks. But there's an awful lot of criticisms of him, and there's something unsettling about the man himself as well. If you listen to him talk for long enough, in my perspective, anyway.
Yeah,
but
I think the sooner people start, opting out for those things, then the better, because they're dangerous. I truly do think that. Well, that's what we think. What do you guys think? Put your thoughts in the comments. Are we speculating wildly? Are we unjustified? Is it good to have these products as free, and what's the big deal? Just let them use our data, and if we get better served ads, then isn't that a good thing? Do I want to be seeing Barbie dolls instead of Ken dolls? I don't know, you tell me. All right, guys, I would love you and leave you. Hit the like, subscribe, do all those amazing things, and we'll look forward to catching you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.